for the soul, the house of habit and memory. I grew up in the St. Lawrence lowlands. In the province of Quebec, the seigneurial system of land distribution has always been the norm. It seems that we are all victims here of a profoundly touching form of nostalgia. It seems too that the déjà vu experience is more common than we will ever admit to. I remember the first house that I lived in. It was at a place we call Stonehenge, though the name doesn't show on any maps. The Quebecos people form a nation. Our ancestors were the habitant people. We were once a people of voyageurs. We had private entrepreneurs that worked the fur trade. The French came here, it would appear, to trade. Our intentions were never genocidal. The Quebecos people are a nation of pacifists. We always seek a diplomatic and democratic solution to even the worst of political economic problems. We once had a dream of sovereignty for our nation. That dream no longer fills the collective imagination, and when one does think of self-governance, one usually just forgets all about it, dwelling instead on thoughts of how privileged we are here in comparison to other parts of the world. One can always dream of something better, one can always dream, period. I'm thinking of the monumental as possibly the form of cultural expression that is the most historical. Monuments can be seen as a form of writing that is truly more resistant to the passage of time as any text. Clay tablets used to be cooked, and were mostly used for messages. One could write an important letter, an epistle, if you will, in tabular form. But since the beginning of civilization as we know it, the monumental is where all of the truly important messages were written. Messages meant for the gods, intended for immortality, were inscribed in stone, in pyramids, not on clay tablets that could break much more easily. The miniature painting was perhaps one of the most difficult forms of expression. It is much simpler to paint something in a large format than to paint something the size of a postage stamp. The house of memory, the house of changing rooms and hallways, the permutation of chambers and corridors. We all have our dream house, our nostalgic vision of things. The Dutch thanatos tradition, the memento mori, marking the passage of time. Following the sun, the moon, and the planets with markings on an animal's bone. The tabular form of ancient accountancy. Tables, cost-benefit analysis, scoreboards, competition, finances, household economy, sports, and games. I win, you lose. The prisoner's dilemma. I think of the word paradox and Socrates comes to mind. A Socratic existence, an ironic existence, being a sign of contradiction, like the Christ Jesus. Soren Kierkegaard is a modern, Christian, Socratic Byronist. The paradox of paradoxes. Abraham's beard. Abraham, father of three monotheistic religions. The beard through time, throughout history. Elijah and all the mountain mystics. Mount Carmel, Mount Tabor, the Mount of the Mounts, Mount Etna. Tolkien's Forge, with the Gorus and the blacksmith shop of ratiocinated hammer weight calculations. The cult of numbers, CIA visions of delirium tremens, of the numinous, the obscure, delirium obscurans, ecstasy of the system. Enter the screen. Part 1 of the production property, Jolly's Reverie, 1989. Sex half self, Minotaur man half sex body, Merleau-Ponty and Feldenkrais, Takai and the Ninja's Hammer Fist.